get so mad, there's no controlling me. My thoughts get so bad, I'm like, oh God, here goes. I lost all feeling from my head to my toes. You said some shit that I can't let go, so just stay tuned for the rest of the show.
Hi ladies, how are you?
Very good.
Thank you so much for taking time. Obviously we're at IC, we're in the Fishbowl, that is the studio in Hall 4. Can I get you to introduce yourselves? So Keris, do you want to go first?
Yeah, so I'm Keris. I do inside sales and consultancy at Layard Europe. Work in the London office.
I'm Chandra. So I take care of the showroom, and then I go to work. I take care of the showroom. I take tours around the showroom, and also do a little bit of inside sales with Keris.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Based in London.
Nice. So, how did you get into the industry, Chandra?
So I was in the music industry back then, and I also majored in music, so I did a lot of music stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought I need something more concrete, actually, and I really liked, and I thought technology is the future. So I was like, okay, let me look into technology, and because I don't have any tech background, so I decided to look into something more simple to start with, and came across LED, and I'm like, oh, cool, big screens, and I can do like staging and rental stuff.
Yes.
And also relates to music. So I was like, okay, let me just get into the LED world. So that's how I came across Layard Planner, and that's how I got into the tech world.
Fantastic. And is this your first job in the AV industry?
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Cool. Okay, we'll come back to that. Keris, what was your journey?
Family connection, actually.
Okay.
So my brother started out in the AV industry about 8 years ago.
Okay. Do you want to give him a shout out? You're allowed to.
Yeah, Sam Dron. He's just started his own business, actually.
Oh,
so
fantastic.
Nordmass.
Give him a plug.
Yeah, absolutely. So he got into the industry himself, and then a number of years later, I was fresh out of university, had no idea what I was doing, where I wanted to go, and wanted to give business development a go. So I ended up working with him and his company for a year, and fell in love with it. I feel like it's the kind of thing that you end up being in then for life, because I left with purely to go travelling, but I loved the industry and I wanted to kind of come back to it, and I did.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah.
Good. What was your degree in our interest?
Geography.
Okay.
So absolutely nothing to do with technology, but
Well, you've done a bit of travelling and you've navigated this the show, right?
Yeah.
So, your first IC, both of you?
yes.
Yes.
How has it been?
Very busy. Just no time.
Well, you picked the busiest year to have your first experience. So, overwhelming, or how prepared were you? Were you given some briefing by your team of what to expect, or did they just want you to work it out?
A bit of briefing, but I think it was undersold, the size of it.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
We were told it will be busy, you'll be knackered, wear comfortable shoes, and all of the above was right. It's been nuts. But the scale of it, I cannot fathom.
Yeah.
I still haven't made it to all the halls. It just is, enormous.
So, we'll find out later today. So we're at the final day of IC. We'll get the final numbers, but the numbers are definitely a lot higher than last year, and you could feel it. And where you are, I mean, you're in Hall 3, right? It's the most, the amount of light and the amount of noise, and I think on every recording I've done, I've said how overwhelming I found Hall 3. How has that been? Just to be working in that, not seeing daylight for how many hours? So, what have your hours been like? How's that experience been?
Like morning, starting at 8, our coach leaves the hotel, and then gets here at like 9ish, and then brief meeting, and then kick off at 10, all the way to like 6.
Nice.
So
Okay.
by the time we get out, it's just very beautiful sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that amount of content, and everywhere you look, and the noise as well, you can hear a bit of the buzz. Obviously we've got our headphones on, but it's this constant hum of noise, and then every so often somebody will let something off and there'll be loud music and whatever. How have you managed that, Keris?
Just kind of tried to stay. I've very much kind of stayed on our booth a lot of the time, and when you're chatting to people, it is hard not to get distracted, because you'll randomly hear some big noise that, whether it's intentional or not. so it is quite hard, but thankfully we're slightly closed in, so it's less distracting, I think, but it's very intense.
I don't know if this will come through on the recording, but certainly through our headphones we can hear an operatic voice in the background.
Yeah.
Right. So that for us, based over here at the edge of Hall 4, is a mermaid immersed in a water tank. So I'll show you her when we come out, if she's still in the water, and she's singing opera. So that has been hugely distracting for our team over here. So what's the wackiest thing you've seen? So that's mine.
Yeah, I mean, I think that tops anything I've seen, I must admit.
Have you seen anything that you've thought, wow?
I've seen a lot of things I've thought, wow, but the wackiest, I'm just trying to... Oh, I did see one of the stands next to us actually had somebody dressed up in the most elaborate traditional Chinese outfit that was quite terrifying.
Yeah.
Like very much a porcelain mask.
Wow, okay.
That just came out of nowhere and took quite a few people by surprise, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, that was probably the most shocking, sort of out of the blue, but...
For you? Seen anything?
Not really, like...
You probably haven't had much chance to walk around, right?
Yeah, I'm always on my booth.
Yeah.
And then just talking to customers and people just come.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I haven't been walking around
Yeah.
at all, so...
Okay. So, there's two really obvious things with you. You're both young and you're female, and you're in the industry. And that's something that there's a group of us who are actively trying to promote. Obviously part of the Avixa Council that I'm quite involved with. But also other people are trying their best to, and I've had so many conversations of how do we do it? How do we attract young talent and get young people in who actually want to get involved and stay? Because we do see some young people come in and then they leave, so there's that side of it. But to get young females is there's an added, because it's such a male-dominated industry, as tech is regardless, right? That's not peculiar to the audiovisual side of things. How has that experience been for you?
For me particularly, I think the AV industry, for my side, like LED stuff, it's pretty exciting. It's never the same every day, and you learn new things, and there's a lot to see, a lot to learn. Even our company products, there's just a bunch of them that you have to learn. I mean, I'm staying, so
Yay!
yeah, so I'm staying, and yeah, like different sectors, we get touch of basically different industries in the world, I guess, and then yeah, so it's pretty exciting to me. I mean, being first year in this company.
I've got another question. I will come back to it actually, because I asked a few people this morning. I told them I was going to be chatting to you both, and I asked a couple of men in the industry, what would you as men, so we have a lot of middle-aged white men in the industry,
Yep.
In terms of diversity, and we're trying to change it. We're trying to get a few more role models and more people advocating and being good allies. And I think the industry as it is now, for me, I feel is the best it's ever been. But do you feel that there's a time, or have you had the experience, not necessarily from your colleagues, because obviously they know you, but being at ISE, being on the stand, or even in the showroom, where men treat you differently, or they don't want to ask you the question, or they want to ask a male a technical question? Have you had that experience already? How have you managed it? How did that play out?
I'd say I see it more like at ISC, just
Have
people
you?
coming to you and
Yeah.
then and be like, oh, so they chat with you for like probably like 2-3 seconds, and then they just hop off to like a white middle-aged male.
Right.
So that has happened, but yeah, I don't really go after them.
Right,
I
okay.
just like leave it
Yeah.
to
Okay.
them. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't.
Paris?
Yeah, I've had a few occasions where someone will speak to you and sort of ask if there's anyone from the UK team, and I'll say,
Right.
I'm from the UK team. And they'll kind of
Yeah.
be like, oh,
Anyone
anyone else.
Yeah.
But I do quite enjoy look on their face when you actually start talking technical to them,
Right.
and you kind of answer their questions, and they're a bit like, oh, okay,
I love that.
this person actually knows what they're talking about. There's something about it, and the classic making jokes, and then when you're in a group of people, and then saying, oh, sorry, only to the female in the group,
Yeah.
as though, I've never,
Yeah.
as though I can't take a joke or anything like that. So
Right.
there has been occasion for that, but
So are you talking about IC or broader than that?
I've noticed it more here.
Right, of course.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
when people come into our showroom, because it's Chandra and I, it's kind of our space, so I feel like people are a bit
And
more
I guess they already know,
respectful.
right? And
Yeah.
they already
Yeah.
know that you're there doing that role. So whereas here, I guess there's that element. I don't know how much of that is that you are young and you look young, right? You can't change that. Well, you can when you get to my age. You've got a few years yet. But it's hard to differentiate whether they think you're young and you don't know, or you're not going to know, or whether it is a male-female thing. My gut feel is that it's a gender thing, but there's two things wrapped up in that.
Yeah.
How have your team been about that? Because I know two of the managers that you work with quite well, and they're fantastic. I think.
Yeah,
they've been very supportive to me in the years I've known Luke for such a long time.
Yeah.
And has always been a good ally to me.
They're very big on pushing us out of our comfort zone, I think.
Yeah.
Good.
And because it is easy to sort of take a step back, and when you are in a meeting where you've got people that are older or male, it becomes like a male-dominated conversation often, but they will actively, if you're ever in a conversation with them, they'll actively bring you in and introduce you and sort of make sure that you're included in the conversation,
Yeah.
which is nice. It's very
Good.
It's a really good thing that I think we're quite lucky to have
Yeah.
them.
Very supportive.
Yes, very much.
And have they or others noticed on the stand when you've been overlooked, or when has that? Because I know that it's really busy, so it's not easy to do. But has anyone stepped in or?
Not that I can think of, but I think it's more of it's just so manic
Yeah.
that everyone's constantly
Everyone's doing,
speaking
yeah.
to somebody.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, so it's hard to gauge that one.
I mean, you both landed on your feet, I feel. And I did promise my friend Adam Florio from Element One that I would give him a shout out, because that question about do you get overlooked was from him. He was interested as a male in the industry to know if that still happened. And I was saying, yes, it does. And he said, does it? So yes, Adam, it does happen. If we were to get you to talk to, I don't know, school leavers or college leavers maybe, what would you want to tell them? What would you tell your younger self about the industry?
I think I'd probably say you will come across a lot of people that you are quite different to in terms of age, gender, everything like that. But if you view it as more of a challenge than an obstacle, I think it will benefit you a lot. Because if you do kind of put yourself out there and you do speak to people and have the confidence, because you know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
and don't sort of let people unintentionally sort of push you aside, then I think people remember you as well. So it's actually quite a good way to make contacts, because it's such a white male middle-aged dominated industry.
Yeah.
If you meet someone, I found especially, they tend to remember me more than I remember them.
Yeah.
Which it can benefit you.
Of
You
course.
can use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
So
True.
I would say, view it as more of a challenge than an obstacle, definitely.
I'd say just go for it, you know?
Yeah.
Just jump into a new world, experience the most out of it, and that's it. You'll have fun.
Thank you so much. Any final comments about the show or about your experience this week? How are you going to recover from what's your plan to recover?
I think quickly I'd like to say as well that I had a really good experience here where I bumped into a lady, and I cannot remember her name for the life of me, which is terrible, but I do have a business card, so I will be contacting her. actually in the ladies' bathroom.
Okay. That's where all the best meetings have happened
It
this week.
really
I kid you not.
It is. And she just approached me and she was so friendly, so lovely, and basically mentioned the Avixa Council and everything and encouraged me to come along to the booth. And yeah, that for me was like a big, I will remember that, I think, because she was like, you know, we've got a band together. It's like, yeah, there's so few of us that we need
Yeah.
to sort of stick together.
Yeah,
And like,
absolutely.
yeah, that was a really like.
Well, you don't
positive
really have much
takeaway.
choice because I'm reeling you into that anyway. So yeah,
Exactly.
that's a given. What about you?
I'm just gonna stay in Barcelona for a few days.
Nice.
Get more sleep.
Nice.
Just hang out with friends.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. And the weather's picking up, right? It was nice and sunny today. This morning it was beautiful.
Seeing the
So
sun
nice.
has
Yeah.
been wonderful.
In need of sunshine.
Yeah.
Coming from the UK, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's next for you and what's next for your brand? And do you know?
We have a lot of changes coming in Q1 and Q2. So exciting things coming, exciting things. We're not sure
Are you
when
allowed
we
to
can.
give us a bit of a sneak preview or not?
I don't know.
No.
I'm gonna say no because I
Gosh,
don't want to
Nick.
end up.
You've got them trained really well.
I know. But
suspense.
look out, yeah, I would say
Okay.
it's
Look out.
some exciting times coming.
I'm looking forward to hopefully using your showroom space in London for having a live in-person event very, very soon this year, because it's a wonderful space and great location, but more importantly, so that you can get to meet other people in the industry and start building your network. So that's definitely on my roadmap for the year. Thank you so much for taking time out from your busy schedule this week, and I hope you've enjoyed being able to just sit down and not have to
Have a
deal with all
breather.
the amount of traffic around your stand. I couldn't even see your stand at one point. There were so many people around it. But thank you so much. How can people connect with you?
Through LinkedIn.
Do you want
Yeah.
to give your LinkedIn handle?
Yeah, it's my name.
Yeah.
ChandraLeung.
Lovely. Thank you.
And I'm Kerystron, Cerys
Lovely.
Dron.
Perfect.
So yeah, just
We'll add it in the notes on the video as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Take
having
care.
us.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
You too.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up.